Okay, we do have an Akbar en route after he is eaten. Right, what have we done? So we have the band for the jingle. We have a 10-ton weight. We have an arm. What are we doing? We're trying to get this sheep. That's one thing we're trying to do. We're trying to get this buddy sheep. But I can't remember what we do to get the sheep.
A black sheep.
I might need to come back for the sheep.
Ah, I get it. He's died in the war. This is a pun or play on words. Go on, let the groan out. It's therapeutic. Skeleton in the closet. A black sheep. Nope. I don't think I'll press any further on this one.
A black sheep. It was. I appreciated that one.
Must be off.
I don't feel like we actually need to talk to the others.
Excuse me.
We can, though.
Shh. Aren't you dead yet?
I feel Reg might give us
dead?
the most dialogue.
Of course I'm dead. I
So
just
we'll go
can't
to
get
last.
going on any decent sort of afterlife.
An albino black sheep.
How do you
You
put a
might.
stop to a walking corpse? I mean, it's not as if there's any helpful ink books. I've tried me strangling, poisoning, or even jumped in front of a donkey cart.
Oh, how did that one work out?
Not too well. They're charging me with willful traffic obstruction and being walking dead in a public place without a proper licence.
Wow.
Call that justice?
So, you've become a member at the club here, then?
Member? How can I be expected to be a member when I can't pay any dues? And I can't pay any dues because I can't get a job. Oh, Skew, is this any way to treat a walking, talking corpse?
I know.
In my day, we
I don't
knew
think
how
they
to
do
show
in the book.
respect to a cadaver in need of a bit of cash.
What? They want to make you pay dues?
It's all Reg's fault.
Bloody Reg.
He wants to pre-print coffin lids with membership details on the inside.
I think
What,
he
and
actually
that's gonna
does
be
that
expensive?
in the books.
Well, coffin lids don't grow on trees, you know.
Well, not on any trees I've seen. Not when I'm sober, anyway. What do you mean you can't hold down a job? I mean, it's not as if you're rushing off anywhere, is it? It's not as if you're going to have any sick days off.
Oh, yes. Well, you try telling that to an employer. I mean, the advantages of a dead employee are obvious to anyone. No lunch hours, no night shift worries. I mean, you'd think anyone could see it's in all of our best interests.
So what happened? Did they complain about the smell?
He's a wizard.
No, it's all, bureaucracy. Just try filling in a tax form when you're officially dead. You'll see. Place of residence, graveyard. Current occupation, decomposition specialist. I mean, it's an uphill struggle from the word go. No wonder people spend so much time trying to avoid death.
He didn't even get
paperwork
buried.
complications are enormous.
It kind of just waddled out of the Great Hall.
Poor old Windle. From youth to academic. From academic to the grave. From the grave, whoomp, right onto the dole queue.
Ha!
That's a welfare state for you.
true, though.
See you later.
And this is the boogeyman from the first game, I'm pretty sure.
Hello.
You're not frightened of me, are you?
Once
No,
again, those damn bureaucrats. Yeah.
Oh, I just don't seem to frighten anybody anymore these days.
Oh, well, sorry. All right, look, I'm scared. Really scared. Terrified. Does that make you feel any better?
You're not really scared.
I am?
Well, why aren't you running around then?
Because I'm scared stiff. Yeah, that's it. I've been scared into that strange lucid
Who
state
thought the
of
door was part of the
unreality and
wizard's
just
chair?
don't seem to be able to move my legs. Rooted to the spot in terror. Me.
Really?
Gosh, yes. If I was any more scared, my ears would drop off. Trust me on this.
His ears would drop off.
I thought we cured you last time.
See?
What happened to your old door?
From the first game.
Someone kept putting letters under the doorstop. I finally had to give the thing away or drown beneath a flood of second-class mail. I think the worst thing was the smell of all those perfume sample sachets.
The funny thing is, a long time after this game comes out,
Ambergris.
he actually does a book about the post office.
After a few weeks, it all starts going off, and you up to your eyeballs and decaying. Where does ambergris come from in any case?
I think a whale is sick somewhere and it gets turned into perfume.
Huh.
Strange but true. And who was the first man to look at a pile of whale vomit and think, oh, that'll make a splendid perfume? Makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Well, the funny thing is, as I said, they made a book about the post office years and years later, and the post office is basically dead at this point in the story.
Do you come to a lot of these meetings then?
Not really. I'm not actually dead, you see. Just undead. But the membership card gives you lots of lovely discounts at the local stores. Cheap headstones.
Why does a boogeyman need that?
Coffins. That kind of thing.
Yeah, but if you're not actually going to die...
What is going on with the American
drop
post
dead and actually
office?
require
Because I've
return,
seen locked post boxes,
then why do you need them?
but I haven't actually paid attention. Someone made a
Well,
comment, either in my chat or another chat I'm in, about mail as well, and I was like,
Happy birthday, now
what?
here's a headstone in the sincere hope you find a use for it soon. And that sort of thing. Got many friends, have you? You don't need to answer that if you don't want to.
Why does that not fucking surprise me?
The world's shyest bogeyman. You know, I'd have been really intrigued and astonished if this had been a better kind of day. Well, that's it for now.
Countess.
Hello, so we're undead, are we?
Don't say it with such superior airs. We are the dark children of the night, we are.
Dark children? You're pale as a... Well, you're quite pale anyway. Well, he is. Yours is sort of more tough.
These are real characters as well in the book. They're not made up characters.
I'm a vampire and she's my bride of darkness. Well, actually, she used to be the bride of a greengrocer. That was us, fruit and vegetable import-export. And then one night, boom, I'm a vampire. Nothing so much as a by your leave. A quick nip in the neck
and he actually dresses in like jumpers
So
and
if you're
stuff
a vampire
in
and
the
she's not, then why is she dressed up like that?
A
in the
wife
book.
should always share her husband's hobbies. Besides, you get to wear interesting costumes.
And one thing I always found weird is that the vampires and the werewolves come from the same part of the disc. They come from Uberworld, but from what I can remember, the werewolves don't have an accent, whilst the vampires all do. Jumper seems smart. Not one with a hood, no. It was more of like a old-fashioned, like baggy, woolly type jumper. It's called Arthur.
Let me get this straight. You're both urban vampires, are you?
Urban
Dreadlords
vampires.
of the night's abyss, all that sort of thing.
Oh no, they.
That's right.
Oh no, the actual vampires.
And you also, as I
No,
recall,
I think they do
run
have
a
a
successful
one.
grocery
It's
business down
weird.
in Treacle Street.
Like the Eagles don't have one either. They have an Igor accent.
It was a smashing business, that was. We didn't truck with the usual fruit and veg. We had a direct distributorship of clutchy and giant peaches. The only place you could get them in the whole city.
These two fake their accent
Giant
because they're from
peaches?
Ankh-Morpork.
Yeah, 6 foot high and weighing 500 pounds. God, they were beautiful.
Who in the name of Offler's Teeth would eat a 500
See you later, Nathan.
Well, no one. You hunt them for the fur.
Anyway, once my husband was elevated to a nobler plane of existence, I decided the time had come for us to move on. I mean, when someone is confronted by the Lord of the Night, the last thing he wants to do is wake up with 2 holes in his neck and smelling of peaches. The fruit business just had to go, didn't it, Count?
Yes, dear.
So why are you two here?
Well, it beats sitting in the coffin all day.
You just listen to the meeting, dear.
Yeah, you just
We
listen.
think it's very important to raise our undead consciousness. It's a disgrace the way dead people are treated out there these days. For all the attention the dead get, you might as well just stick them in a hole in the ground.
Right.
Anyway, we're here to see what we can do about it. Reg is right, you know. There's a dead person inside all of us, just waiting to come out.
Yes. Usually by dying.
A vampiric greengrocer, eh?
Vampire Queen Grocer.
I think
That
I
just
shall
makes
never
me
eat
laugh.
a cabbage ever again as long as I live.
Another one is the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse. Yeah, it's not called the Apocalypse in this, it's called the Apocalypse or something, I can't remember. But they've got the 4 Horsemen, but it's actually the 5 Horsemen of the Apocalypse. But one of them left because of creative differences before they become famous. And he ends up being a milkman called Mr. Soak, because he's chaos, spelt with a K, which is soak backwards.
Excuse me, I think it's probably time for me to take my medicine. Excuse me.
Shush!
Oh no, you don't talk to Reg at all. Right. I think that's the first thing I did.
Quite well, thank you. Well, go on, ask it. I get a migraine if you don't ask the right questions once the answers have come.
Hello, Mrs. Cake. How are you?
That's better.
Phew, thank heavens that's all over.
I'm so very sorry about that, young man. off to get my own head next. Now, how may I help you?
A psychic, eh? Well, who'd have thought it?
You did, do you? About 3 minutes from now.
Do you really get away with all this? Just pretending to read other people's thoughts for a living?
Well, it's not as if I'm making money at it.
I have a feeling she was a seamstress.
Ask most people to crush your palm with silver and then...
Well, I mean, she is a seamstress in this as well, but she didn't, like, do occult stuff. She was just a seamstress.
Is the ectoplasm.
The joke being she was a seamstress.
What do you use that for?
Never you mind. I am too.
You're not really a psychic.
I will.
Prove it.
All right, ask them.
I know. Answer my questions.
As in an old-fashioned way of saying prostitute, or lady of the night.
Describe my favourite colour.
A rash.
Describe what I got for my birthday.
Got a rash for his birthday.
Toothless and covered with sauce.
Describe my breakfast.
She ran a boarding house for,
Frilly underwear.
well, she was basically a pimp, I guess, or a madame.
I just can't remember.
I'm
what
pretty
it
sure that was
just then.
Mrs. Cake.
I
I'm
do,
pretty
and
sure
you ought to
Carrot was
wash your
living with him
mind
at
with
one
soap and
point,
water.
and he kind of didn't get that he was
Now, why don't you
living
just go
in
off about your
that
business?
kind of place. Because he
Well,
was
I'll
like a
tell you
bumpkin
about
from the
what you keep in your
mountains.
sock drawer.
When I say from the mountains, I mean he actually lived in the mountains. She wasn't a fake psychic, no, she was a real psychic. Obviously in the Discworld, magic is real and stuff. She was a real psychic. Or a real precog. She can see a little bit into the future.
Is there much of a commercial call for ectoplasm? Gives you pause for thought. See you later.
The mountain is your wizard backstory in D&D. Well, Carrot's story is he's the son of the rightful king of Ankh-Morpork. And his parents were killed when he was a kid, and the dwarfs took him in, and he was raised until he was too big. He's basically 6 foot something, and thinks he's a dwarf. And they sent him down to be a part of the City Watch. I think Granny Weatherwax is awake now. Hey, new to Twitch. How are you doing? So, because even if any of you decide to read the books... Worst stream ever! Wow! Wow! But true, also. But yeah, none of you are probably going to read all the books and everything. Granny Weatherwax is one of my favourite characters because they have, they do the whole 3 witches thing, which is the maid... What is it? The maid, the mother, and the hag. And Granny Weatherwax is the hag, and there's a, like, bubbly... Like, she did in the first game, Nanny Og. But she's, like, the bubbly one, and she's had loads of children, so she's the mother. And then they, like, alternate. They have one called Magrat at first, because her mum couldn't spell Margaret, so she was called Magrat. And then later on, they've got one called Agnes. And then the maid. And Granny Weatherwax is, like, she's not just in the witches books, which are really good, but she's in, a bunch of other books about female witches... Well, I say female... Witches and female wizard. Because there's a female wizard on the disc as well. The dwarf, Casanova, or whatever he's called. It's down here. Yeah, so she's like one of the most important characters in the book, and I didn't read the last Discworld book, which I think I've said before, and the horrible thing is like it came out after Terry Pratchett died, and like Discworld books don't tend to be spoiled because no one really cares. Like there's not a big thing. It's not like when the last Harry Potter came out and everyone was doing their best to be the first person to tell everyone who died. No one really cared what happened in the last Discworld book because it was never meant to be like the last Discworld book. But Granny Weatherwax dies, and that's one of the reasons why I will never read it as well, because I cannot deal with that. Like, oh, Cousin Under, that's what he's called.
Why don't you leave this poor silver-bearded old woman alone?
I don't think I can deal with reading Granny Weatherwax die.
The second greatest lover who ever lived, and this woman.
I own the book. The book's still in the bag that it come in.
Well,
in my Waterstones book
until
bag.
The next challenge. I'm now ready for more women.
If I don't read it, the Discworld never ended.
Oh dear. Right. Well, I'll just leave you to your hopeless task, shall I? Still, it seems a shame to see you wasting yourself on...
Wasting?
I'm doing alright.
Well, a man like you shouldn't be content with second best, should he?
Just very tired. I stayed up for the whole of Jeff's stream. No, I didn't. I napped for half hour.
Mysterious, energetic.
Where?
But I stayed up for the majority of it.
Would you believe Jelly Baby? Clearly I'm dealing with inferior intellects. Which are hard to find, believe me.
The thing is, I'm gonna try not to talk about him, but obviously the problem is Jeffrey is streaming very late into my morning now because he fucked up his sleep pattern the other day by having a secret stream at like 1 AM his time that didn't finish until 5 AM his time. So he fucked up his sleep schedule, so he didn't stop until like 2 o'clock in the morning for him today, which is 10 o'clock for me. If he had stopped at a reasonable time, I would have had a nap in the morning and been like, right, we're playing games all day. But because he finished then, and then I had to go to the shop and double check my bank and everything. By the time he finished, I was like, oh, fuck my life. You guys aren't keeping me awake. I'm really enjoying streaming every day, and I've said to my mods that I'm not promising that I'll stream every day from now on, but I'm going to try to stream for at least an hour every day from now on, because I kind of like just having like an hour of game time where I get to talk to people as well, because I don't get to talk to people outside of work very often. Like, I chat on Discord and stuff, but I don't get to like have a proper conversation like this. Yay, 1 hour streams. Did that not work? I didn't hear anything. There we go.
I in horse strength.
Oh, hell yeah! Because there's not many of us will get these stupid things. I didn't get a single one in Jeff's today. You got a 1k, but you have been throwing bits at me. You really have, mate. First you're hearing about these, must be a fake. Did you not see I made a mod, like, just honestly, did you not see that I made a, mod chat in the Discord? I know you've got a kappa there, but I'm just worried because no one fucking replied to my message. And I was like, have I set the settings right? Can people see this? Have I done this all wrong again? I know Sean posted in there. But I got really fucking paranoid. But yeah, so I'm gonna plan on like doing an hour stream every day. You genuinely don't see a mod chat channel. You should be active in there. It says you are. It's underneath Quilt and Highlights. It's called Pogger Doggers Chat. because our mods are called Pogodoggers. I'll tag you. Lady Kaiser. You messed up, I see now. Oh yeah, our mods aren't called mods, they're called Pogodoggers. That is our mod chat, yeah. I called it Pogodoggers. It's only you, Travis, and Sean in there, obviously. One day, Akbar, you might be one of our mods. One day, but not today. I don't feel like I need another mod. Not quite yet. Maybe if you get a couple more people. But yeah, but for like the 1 hour stream, like it'll be between 1 and 2 hours every day that I'll stream, hopefully. I'm not promising it, but hopefully. We'll be playing probably like things like this that are easy to just like play and then turn off. Or once I hit 50 average viewers. When our chat's a little bit more active, if it ever gets a little bit more active, I might need one, because I might need mods to like spread out through the day and take the slack off of Sean when Sean's got to work and stuff. Promising 12-hour streams every day. That's exactly what I said, Akbar. That's exactly what I fucking said. But no, it will be like one-off games, like Gris. Like, that only really needed two hour streams to do. Games like this that are easy to come on and off. And then I'll leave, like, the RPGs and the big games for my days off. And then we will have, like, stupid... Like, I'm going to try to do a cooking stream every month. But I might have, like, a donation goal. So, like, every month we need to raise this amount of money. And then I'll have a cooking stream the next month. It'll be low. It'll be, like, 20 quid or something. But then I'll do a cooking stream every month and stupid things like that. I'm trying to rally the mods together to help me come up with things, because obviously I need to keep making money for the next couple months to move out. So 12 hours straight of hardcore Elmo gameplay. Akbar, you weren't here yesterday. I went to download a load of stuff and I ended up downloading a bunch of Elmo games. We have Elmo games. We could do 12 hours straight of hardcore Elmo gameplay.
Thank heaven that stupid dwarf is gone.
Thank you, young man. I just can't imagine what he wanted. Now, what can I do for you?
Anything you've got, just stick it straight into the mod chat. The Poggers Doggers mod chat. I am up for any ideas whatsoever.
What are you doing here in the morgue?
She was borrowing.
Practicing.
I didn't think it needed much practice. I thought it just sort of happened.
Oh no, you have to work at it. Good grief, it certainly doesn't just happen. It needs work, man. And you have to practice if you're gonna do it right. There's your technique, your projection, and then of course there's control and endurance. Very important endurance.
I am not doing an OnlyFans.
It lasts forever. That's the point of the whole thing.
I wouldn't even know where to start with a fucking OnlyFans. That would be so ridiculous for me to attempt to do.
2 or 3 hours and I'm pretty damn good, let me tell you.
Mind projection?
Yeah, into ravens and rabbits and such like. Very important witch talent, mind projection.
Can you do food porn? Is that allowed on OnlyFans? Just a channel for food porn? Send me 50 quid and I'll send you a picture of my mushrooms. Roasted. Covered in cheese. Hey, Acrylic comes out for that OnlyFans mushroom page. Look at him lurking there. He heard about the food porn and he comes straight out.
Tell me, elves, are they in your area of
She fucking
expertise
hates
at all?
elves. Elves are evil in a
You've come
Discworld.
to the right woman. Elves? I wouldn't trust those magic-wielding backstabbers any further than I could.
And they
throw a
use
very
glamour.
large heavy thing.
So they look really pretty, but they're
And the
not.
Elf Queen is the worst. Glamour, you see.
See? Glamour.
She can hold a man captive without uttering a word.
Ah, I see. The evil spell
God, I
of her
love those
eyes, eh?
Can't
mushrooms.
say
I might
anyone's
actually
ever
try
looked
that
hard
as a
enough to
joke and
notice
see
her
if people
eyes.
actually cared.
You can find the entrance to their world in a stone circle near Langres. But don't walk in. They spot anything that ain't unnatural, anything that ain't an elf, a unicorn, or an ogre without at least 3 heads and a major dental problem.
Ooh.
And they'll have you sucking on your toes and singing tra-la-la-lolly quicker than spit in your eye. They'll do that too.
I'll do that too. Somewhere else in the world to go to?
My word, I wouldn't like to get on the wrong side of that lady.
She is terrifying.
Maybe there isn't even a right side. Sorry, can't stay and chat all day. Must be off.
Food points my cooking streams. You just wait, you just wait. Can I not take a sign? No, I can't. I think she leaves.
Fortunately, it's locked.
I think she leaves. And we can get her sign. Can't remember why we need a sign, but we get a sign. This music reminds me of the music in the shops in Wonder Boy. Dark Souls 4 looks really good, like the animation style.
Oh, good.
Oh yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, I've got some new parameciums brewing in the beer.
This is probably exactly what he said the first time we talked to him.
Aren't there any complaints from your customers? You
Are
know,
you meant to have
outraged
people in
relatives
your backyard?
rampaging in through the door, seeking revenge for the deceased? That sort of thing?
Oh, are these the people you were talking about? I keep forgetting what it is. They're dealing with trees, aren't they?
Water from the River Ankh.
Yeah.
It's nice and cool. When I should cut you a slice?
No, that won't be necessary. I'm a young man with his whole life still to live, thank you.
They're taking the dying tree down, that's why it was, yeah. I knew because yesterday you were busy doing your yard and then you went to see your friend. But I couldn't remember what you were doing in your yard, and then you said last night it was about a tree.
Look, why is it that you keep
I pay
reading
attention to
unicellular
Akbar. I like
life forms inside your
Akbar.
beverages?
I said it yesterday. I
Where'd
really
you
like
get the damn
Akbar.
creatures from in the first place?
Good, good. I'm happy you'll feel safer. Rowan had a tree fall down in her yard during a storm like a couple days ago. That's why she disappeared from the internet for a day or
Right, but
two.
where'd you get them from?
They scrape them out.
Also, thank you for the retweet, Acrylic, as always. It's always appreciated.
People wonder why
I
we
never
seem
know
to
when
be
you're
having so
lurking,
many
though, because I just
friends
don't
lately.
look at my user list and everything, so... Yeah, like, she was on Discord at the time, and she was like, oh shit, a tree's fallen down. And we were like, oh. And she was like, wait a second, and then she never came back, and we were like... About 3 hours later, we were like, where's Rowan? Did Rowan ever come back? What happened to Rowan? That's when everyone started going crazy about Rowan, and I was like, alright, she's gone. She's not fucking dead. Can we calm down a little bit? And when she come back online, she was like, yeah, no, a tree fell out and our Wi-Fi went down. You made a call about a tree to your power company a while back. Good. I've always been scared about this. Like, I don't think, even if it fell down towards us, it would hit my house. But there's a tree, like, across the road that I've always, since I was a kid, been terrified it's gonna, like, break the house if it ever fell over. But it wouldn't. The way, how far down the hill it is and all that, it'll destroy my sister's best friend's house, because it's right in their garden, but it wouldn't touch my house, I don't think. It's at the wrong angle. You're usually working and listening. I will remember to thank you then. I won't remember. You know I won't remember because I have a worse memory than anyone you know.
Nope. I still can't think of any constructive reason to stay inside this protozoa breeding pit a moment longer.
Well, our street's not lined with trees. It's just got the one, and then it had 2 cherry blossoms. But one of them got cut down, and the other one's not in a good state anymore, so... we do have apple trees now. They put up apple trees to apologise for... We had, like, this green space, which wasn't very big, but it was like a little green space at the end of our road. And they messed it up when they were doing roadworks at the bottom of our street. So to make up for it, they made a little wildflower garden and planted apple trees. So we'll have apple trees. I don't think we need to talk to these 3 again. That can be hard going talking to them 3. I don't think we need to talk to them. I can't quite remember what we're meant to actually be doing. This, I know what I've got to do. Not ring swing, not ring swing, the luggage. You put the 10-ton weight because in Discworld, putting a sticker on a weigh makes it heavier. It's just the way it is. What did I need? I can't remember what I needed. I can't remember what I'm doing. I need a jingle. What did they want for the jingle? Is that enough? That's all I needed to do to get that ring. Did she just want that, or is it a certain kind of ring she wanted? Is there anything the wizards give me?
Women want the joke. Jokes for women. Female jesters can be every bit as dried up and cliched as a man.
Yeah.
We shall not be moved.
Oh, no, not again.
We shall not be moved.
What, never?
What? Well, obviously not never. I mean, there's calls of nature for a start. The protest would lose some of its majesty if I didn't nip off now and then for a quick, well, you know.
Oh, I see.
Then there's sundry other emergencies. I mean, if a tidal wave, right, came sweeping this way, right, then the protest itself could hardly be seen to suffer if I screamed in fright, untied myself and fled in the opposite direction.
True.
Just common sense, really. Live to fight another day, that sort of thing. Still, all in all, we will not be moved involuntarily.
I don't know why this reminds me of this, but have any of you seen The Young Ones? I'm pretty sure I've asked you all this before, and the answer was no. But have any of you seen The Young Ones?
Fine. Possibly the most carefully thought out protest song I've ever heard.
Can't say you have. It is one of the most iconic and progressive comedies that was made in the UK. It's really, really highly thought of for how different it was from what was being produced in the UK at the time. Because if you know any of these, like, it was very Ben Elton-ish. It was very like, hello, hello, Dad's Army, are you being served kind of stuff. And this come along and it mixed like live rock music and punk and like skit stuff. It was very like off the wall. It had Rick Mel and Ade Edmondson in it. I loved it. I really, really loved it. It was very short lived as well. It didn't last for very long. Akbar, I think you would really, really like it if you can get a hold of it. But it's they even. I know you were being served and keeping up appearances for British sitcoms. Yeah, so like those kind of comedies were like the big thing back then, and this come along and it changed it a little bit. And they did wait a minute. They did a song with Cliff Richard. Young one, Cliff Richard, Living Doll. There it is.
Hey, kids!
I'll link that. In fact, we'll watch it after the stream. Or after I finish playing the game.
It seems to me there has to be a better way
Young
of doing
ones.
this sort of thing. Have you ever considered maybe distributing leaflets?
Thought of it. But it's a bit hard passing out leaflets when I'm roped up here, right?
I don't think you quite understand my point. But then who does? Is it a good place for this kind of thing? I mean, is the university garden really the most
Also,
effective place to
are
get
you being
your
served and
message
keeping up
across?
appearances? Awesome.
Not really.
I love both of them. Especially
Still,
Mr.
what it
K.
lacks in street presence,
Mr.
I think
K.
it makes up for with a certain rural charm, don't you? Ah, sun in the trees, the wind in my hair, the rather interesting feel of hemp bounds as they restrain me. Are you married at all?
Excuse me, I think I hear my mother calling.
I do think you'll like the Mighty Boosh. From what actually, I think the Mighty Boosh will be like me. It will be very hit and miss with you. Some episodes are very funny, some aren't. Most people don't like the first season. It's very trippy, or it tries to be very trippy. It's very off the wall. I do have a soft spot for the Mighty Boosh, I have to admit. But it might be because they have a lot of really good comedians in it. I don't like Noel Fielding or the other guy who he works with. But I do like they've got Richard Iodie from the It Crowd, and he's in it. He basically does the new Crystal Maze. He's in a couple films as well. It has, I can't remember. I blanked. I had his face in my head. His face in my head. And now it's gone. They had a couple. Matt Berry. That's it. Matt Berry. They had him in it as well. But I can't say the main cast were like my favourite people. But it's worth watching.
Leaving us, of course, to ask the question, just how does she manage to tie up both of her own ends? Goodbye!
You always liked Miss Brown and Mr. Humphreys. I loved Mr. Humphreys. What was the other one called with a little pussy? I don't think there's anything else I need to do there yet. Oh. I don't think there's anything there. No. How do I get out? We'll go to the forest. We'll see the elves. I can't. It's one of those names I always fucking forget as well. But it's like one of the most famous like comedy things in the UK. Oh, this is why you need the unicorn horse or the horse. Is it something like Mrs. Salcombe? No, that doesn't sound right.
And don't come back.
You set foot in here again, and you'll be taking your ears home in your hat.
We are fey creatures of the twilight, pal, not little tooth fairies.
The difference is, we take all your teeth and put your head under the pillow. Hey, by the way, isn't it time the Queen's pet came back? It's been gone a long time.
Oh, they always find their way home.
Always. I grew up with Little Britain. I would never recommend Little Britain to anyone. I like it, but I grew up with it. I mean, you can watch it. Never play the Little Britain game. 1, it's just shit. 2, it is just not good. And especially if you get to the last level. You ready for the big Monty Python take the piss?
Jokes for women. Women
No
want
Life
the
of
joke.
Brian, you'll get this.
Stone him! Yes, yes, yes! On the head! Ooh!
Get 'em, get 'em.
Oh dear, that deja vu headache is coming on again. Oh, well, it's what the punters want. Still, at least they know what's supposed to happen. Yada, 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 yada. Ah, here we are. In that she did take comedy in vain, is hereby sentenced to be stoned by soft, chewy rock candy.
What? Taken comedy in vain? How?
Oh, it doesn't matter.
It does. Define your terms, you fascist.
Well, it's for lame comedy then. Stuff that's lifeless, dull. The sort of rubbish you get when you lamely parrot off other people's material instead of coming up with something worthwhile all of your own. Stop that!
But you were parroting!
I am not parroting. I am parodying. Parodying. Completely different. Parodying. Remember that, then we don't get sued.
Oh dear!
Stop it! Stop it! Now, who threw that? Was it you?
Yes.
Well?
Well, she was parroting.
Stop it! Stop it! Right. No one is to stone anybody.
And To your bloodiest whistle!
We've seen it. That's parroting.
Stone him! Stone him!
Not me! No, I'm not the one who wanted this stuff! They made me do it!
I say, shall we call this one the dead parroting sketch?
Watch it!
Can I take the
I've
stick
no further
again?
use.
No. Can I take the rocks? No. I knew you guys would like that one.
Ah, witness the all-powerful mystic-type skills of what would be the Far East if that direction existed here. Watch now as Yuri Jella manipulates the metal.
Oh yeah, I know what I've got to do with him. Did we find the final view?
All right, what about these other...
We have the mystic men sitting.
Oh, really?
You want more? Then we have the fountain of youth. Yeah.
Now that sounds... Where might I...
Oh,
When they call your people...
how dare you come? What's it called? Mine's gone. There is a prospector. What comes through here? He goes everywhere. He's been around for centuries. You ask him if he's ever seen a greater.
Well, that...
Still this carpet. No. Do I have...
Let's just leave.
Oh, I know. I need to take all the hoops and come back with the hoops. Gotta get those hoops. But yeah, I knew that scene would make people laugh. As long as they'd seen The Life of Brian, obviously. If you haven't seen The Life of Brian, it might go over your head a little bit. Boo 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 boo. We get Yuri Jella to then straighten them so we can make our own little pyramid, basically. Boop, 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 boop. Where's the luggage gone? Named your dog Juniper after Life of Brian. That's cool. I love The Life of Brian.
Popping humors.
That's my juniper
I say,
bush.
can you maybe do me a little favour? I have some things here that need straightening out.
No problems, my good man. Strain! 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 Oh, my nose has started to bleed. Now look what you have made me do, all down the front of Dad's good shirt.
We got those straight ones now. You do that.
I haven't time to sit under it and meditate. I doubt whether he could straighten that. I think he's only interested. A scale model pyramid.
What do we do with a
Perfect
pyramid?
for keeping scale model mummies fresh.
No, he just makes a joke about it.
Popping humors.
Boop, 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 boop. Do I talk to the pyramid maker about it?
Good idea. I might try that. Hey, it looks older. Good idea. Hey. Good idea. Hey.
I gotta age something. What I need to age, I don't know. Hollywood. In there. The dwarf wants the jewelry.
There we are. One jelly baby and ring, just for you.
Then she gives me the horse costume, which you glue the horn on top of to make a unicorn.
Ooh, Tar, it's going to look wonderful. We need something to go in the navel of sinful Sabrina, the belly dancer in scene 13.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes. Actually,
Yeah, what's the
we
game,
could,
Akbar?
help Sabrina try on her costume if you'd like.
Really? Where is she?
Right here, big boy.
Town with no
Just
name.
right there. I'll go get my bells and tassels.
Gangway!
What's it about?
That would make it odd. There we are. One sticky hooter. There we go. One unicorn suit.
I want to play that game Dean's been playing. It's been on my wish list. And not like I'm just like saying I want to watch that one. I'll play it because I've seen him play it. It's been on my wish list for forever. Did I get Boomerang? I haven't got Boomerang yet.
Anyway, here, try some Candy Rock.
There's a
I
cooking
bought
point
it over
lesson
from
that's
Jelly
really
Baby,
bad
especially
and
for
funny
you.
and did a review on it.
Oh, thanks. Oh, my tooth. Oh, no, my tooth. Oh, my tooth.
It's poor
Oh,
tooth.
it hurts. Oh, it hurts me. Oh, I want my mummy. I want my mummy now.
Okay, don't cry. Lime scale everywhere. I'll see what I can do to pull it out for you.
Oh. Oh.
Here, let me try something. This should work.
Oh.
Just so you know, a troll's tooth is made out of diamonds. So we give it to her.
One diamond, reasonably clean, all for you. Now get out there and star in my clicky or I'll take away all your makeup and ban you from ever visiting a hairdresser again.
You heartless beast!
Same, Kaiser, same.
For this here thing.
Fuck! I'd knock all my teeth out right now if they were worth, if they were diamonds. Not gonna lie. Do we have the beach? Point me out.
Grubs, mate?
You what?
Grubs.
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 Witchetty grubs. A bonza feed. Mmm. You can just smell 'em on the barbie now, eh? Come on. The cost's only 3 bits, and at that price, I'm cutting me own didgeridoo.
He's cutting his
No,
own
look, I don't want to
didgeridoo,
eat
guys.
any insect larvae today, thank you.
Could be the mistake of your life, mate. They're yummy.
Ugh. Grubs? Ugh, they smell awful.
You'd be really grateful for a feed of these if you were lost in the desert, mate.
A good advert for
Put
buying a
shrimp
map,
on the
I feel.
Barbie. Put a grub on the Barbie.
Are you sure you live here? You seem awfully familiar to me.
There's a dibber
Sure
no
as
matter
a
where you go.
platypus is an egg-laying mammal. Now, can I interest you in any quality dinkum merchandise, mate? Picnic hampers, hats with corks. How's about a nice bent stick? I've got a lovely line in those.
No, now look, why don't you sell anything useful?
Useful? It's all useful.
Insects and crustaceans
See?
are supposed to taste very similar.
Here,
I've heard
best
that,
thing for
yeah.
that, take a couple of raw insect larvae, cures it like magic.
Like magic?
Well, if it cures it, it'll be magic. Come on, mate. 2 for the price of 1. I'm cutting me own bludger.
Cutting his own bludger.
Go away.
Is that paint? No, that's glue. Back to Hollywood. This way, this way. To this annoying little shit. Where's my boomerang? What movies did you buy? Well, I've seen Jaws. Jaws is a great movie. I've not seen the Boo Brothers yet. We can go back there. They are classics, yeah. I did Jaws at school for coursework one year, and we were,
Yep, too big for me alone.
Is this where I asked the sheep to come with me? Yeah, we had an Australian, like, support teacher, and he was telling us, like, how terrifying Jaws was for him as a kid compared to, like, what it was for any other kid in the world, probably, because obviously it was such a big thing
Right.
in Australia to have shark attacks.
Possum.
I don't think it's rated PG in Australia still.
That won't help him find a new career. Oh, hello. Apart from being a quest item, well, I can see your point there. Actually, I'd get that scene to you if I were... Why exactly are you hiding? Really? Well, I just don't see that there's much call for undead sheep in the career. I mean, I know you'd like to expand your boundaries, but I'm just not sure how I can help you achieve. Tell you what, though. Oh, no, you're quite welcome. See? My very own unicorn suit. A bit too big for just me to wear, though.
It's another sheep
That
we
won't help
asked.
him find it. That won't help him.
Huh. What did they want? Did they just want the band?
Hello?
Angus, Angus, no! Put down that metal hen!
On second thoughts,
What are you standing there for?
Go find out why. I'm guessing I'm gonna have to go and talk to Hex. Let's go talk to Hex. Oh yeah, there you go.
say, can I perhaps beg the use of your working things out machine?
Oh, I would surely think so, seeing as the purpose of Hex is, you know, to relieve man of a number of his woes. And I must point out that failure of the machinery to work in whole or in part is not the fault of the manufacturer, who can in no way be held responsible, but will in fact ensure that you, the purchaser, are clearly at fault for buying the product in the first place.
But can I use your machine?
Well, no, not now.
There's
It's
no
not
ants. We
working.
broke it, didn't we?
Cool, that's enough of this conversation. I'd better get the machine. The honey would only make it... I'd better get the machine working. I'd better... Let's leave.
Why isn't it here?
Now we're ready to take pictures. There's no point in putting glue on. Petticoats work better.
Now I'm actually lost. Now I can't remember what I meant to do. Actually, no, it's the librarian in the dining hall.
Busy?
There he is, the librarian.
Well, I suppose he works for peanuts.
Works for bananas, actually.
Look, we're comrades, right? I mean, we'd stand up for each other. Through thick and thin, damn the press, backs to the wall kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, wear a unicorn suit with me?
Wear a unicorn suit with me. Just do it.
No, I want to go the front bit. It It was my idea.
That's who I'm going to be a unicorn with. Right, let's go get the pictures of the Elf Queen. Librarian's best character, that's why.
Hey, you took the front end. Good idea, but not just yet.
The pickle's only from the game. The pickles isn't from the book. Like, they might have mentioned pickles in the book from time to time, but it isn't. I remember they once, an Igor transplanted a human's brain into a turnip to make him less depressed.
Don't know why I have to be the rear end.
All hail me.
What?
Come on, all hail me. It's been 10 minutes since anyone said how fearsomely beautiful I am.
Oh,
Fearsomely beautiful.
Right. Well, you're dangerously attractive, maddeningly gorgeous,
Yes?
you're wonderful. You can torture small animals in a very regal way. You can do amazing things with your hair.
Well, what about you? Why haven't you said anything? Guards, off with his head.
Wait, I meant to say something,
But what?
but I was struck dumb by your beauty. That's it.
Slick.
Phew.
Slick as hell.
All right. Slightly crawly, but you can keep all your bits.
You
if
can keep
stand
all your
over there
bits.
and croak like a frog.
Ribbit! Ribbit! Ribbit!
Absolute power. Who can say it isn't wonderful?
Ribbit!
Keep it going. You've still got plenty of little bits that can be chopped off, you
Ribbit.
know.
Sorry, Ribbit! Ribbit! Ribbit!
I just need to take pictures of her.
Smile. Say children's blood.
Ribbit! Ribbit!
Take all those photos.
Ribbit!
Stick them in there. Well, that goes to the makeup artist with Death. Which is over here. This woman.
Right. Stand back and here we go.
Spoken.
He doesn't look any different. Right, so that's that. So we got Death, We've got the babe. We've got the band. Well, I just gotta go and talk to Dibbler. I can't remember what else we needed. Yeah, back to work. Get your ass in gear. Right. Can I just give him bits? Have the babe. No, come back here.
I found us our babe, Mr. Dibbler.
Can she act?
Of course she can act. She's a thespian.
Yeah, well, that won't matter. That's very trendy these days.
Thespian.
Fine. Well, consider her signed up.
Right. And then, do you want the band as well?
I found the band, Mr. Dibbler.
Excellent. Are they good? Do they have the sleek, well-fed look of success?
Good gods, no. They're all musicians.
Fair enough.
Well, sign them on. That's the drawback of music, having to have all these musicians around.
He wants them as well, I think.
Here we go. Novelties.
There you go.
Novelties? You call these novelties?
Yes.
I've never seen the likes of this sort of thing before.
That's the novelty of it.
Exactly. That's why they're novelties.
Go. I suppose so. I hate it when logic turns against me.
Look, can you go and get philosophical on someone else's time, please? Some of us have got a game to play.
Yeah. Right. What else
There
do you
you are,
want?
Fred. Now remember, a jingle, a set of novelties, and a gorgeous babe. I might be able to do it for you with less, but even that. Remember, for a jingle, you've got to get a song and a...
Well, that's...
So I need to find ants. Is what I'm guessing. Or I've got to find the right part of the machine to stick the pyramid onto. Ants. Where would I find ants? I have a feeling it's got something to do with the honey. And let me go back and have a look at the high magical energy building. There is no like little... No. Ants. Debut of the bees? Ants. That sausage looks a bit... I can't remember for the life of me what to do with that. I don't think there's anything in the garden. No. I have a feeling it's got to do with honey. They went kind of under there.
The honey would only make...
The heater's broken there. I'm happy to hear that. It's kind of broken here too. It's not been as bad.
I'd better get the machine. It's me. It was. Their automatic computating machine. Apparently it's broken though. No ants inside. Not enough bugs, you could say.
Ha 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 ha.
Sorry, can't stay.
Bugs! Maybe at the pyramid. That's the only other place I can think of. It's got sand.
Mysterious hieroglyphics. They say that if you stare at these things long enough, they begin to sprout talk balloons.
There you go. Not the pyramids. Right. Not there. Not up here. Maybe here if I go over this way? Oh yeah, Sean's working today. Sean is 100% working today. There we go.
Not a bad idea, but I have to actually get the ants out and into something. The honey may come in handy later.
Do I have something? No.
Why do I suddenly feel like I'm in a sports sim? Now I won't fall off so easily.
Where am I going to find something to put him into there, them inside? But yeah, I talked to Sean this morning. He did that usual Sean thing of, feel sorry for me because I missed stream this morning. And I was having none of it. I was like, yeah, well, the other day you missed this stream because you were doing this. And then you missed it this time because you were doing that. And he was like, well, I didn't ask for sympathy. And I was like, yeah, you did. I was surprised he was talking to me afterwards. What was I surfing for anyway? I know this was a thing I had to do. Oh, I have a feeling this is for, like, the next part of the quest. Do I just take pictures of it?
I better ask Dibjul. This picnic hamper, it's not filled with bugs or anything, is it?
Could be.
Nah, mate. I'd charge extra for the bugs.
This could be it.
It's a bargain. I'll give you the handle for free, but I'm cutting my own billabong.
But the problem with Sean, right? The problem with him when he's not here is he's not very
Honey,
good
only make it sticky.
at banter, and he's starting to wind me up with it. So that is why me and him argue all the time on stream. Boo boo boo.
Now we're onto something, but shouldn't it be full first?
I've got to go back and fill it with food from the Great Hall. No, he isn't. Well, it was like the other day, and he knows that I'm going to talk to... I said to him that I'm going to tell people about how awful he is with this kind of stuff, because it gets on my nerves. But the other day, we were talking about the new Star Wars movies. And obviously, it was all in our opinion and stuff. And he was going on, no, Rogue One is better than the 3 trilogy movies. Now, I've already told him a million times I don't like Rogue One. And I was like, no. Rogue One is just as bad as the trilogy that goes with the actual film. Like, they're all just as bad as each other. And then he turned around to me and he went, well, that's your opinion. And I was like, well, yeah, Sean, we're talking, we're having a discussion, this is all our opinions. And he was like, well, you were being shitty before I was. And I was like, how am I being shitty? He was like, well, you said no. And I was like, it's banter, Sean, that's what banter is. You go, no, you know? It doesn't mean, no, Sean, you're wrong. It's like, nah, this one's better. But he didn't get it, and he got really fucking pissy about it. I just like pointing out that he's bad at banter. He thinks he's really good at it, and I'm like, nah, you're not. And he gets even more annoyed because I tell him he's bad at it. Right, we've got the ants. I knew there was something to do with bloody honey. I sat here going on about honey for long enough.
Nasty little blighters. Looks like I'll have to entice them out.
There's something to do with honey, guys. Something to do with honey.
Right. So the ants are in.
Yes, that is correct.
See how well I'm doing?
They're all running
I remember
around.
this game, really.
They're, you know, keen to get started.
Deep down,
Yeah,
I remember
anyway,
this
So
game.
we are now ready to get going. I mean, I can ask this machine a question now.
Yes, quite right. Ask, you know, ask away.
What do you call this machine again?
Hex. Hex.
Hex. A 3-letter name. And it's not because it's, you know, useless. No matter what you might hear people say.
You know.
Hex. How lovely. See anything wrong with the name at all?
No. My research assistant seemed to think it's very appropriate.
All right. Let's just get on with it then, shall we?
Let's get on with it.
Hex, I want you to tell me the answer to the question, why? Well?
Ah, well, of course, a certain amount of working time is required for any problem of this type.
Yeah? How long?
According to my estimate, we should have your answer in a jiffy.
A jiffy?
Ah, that is the abbreviation of the Clatchian word Jiffacitra, meaning eon or age of the world, probably about 2 million years. Would you like a cup of something while you wait?
Hemlock.
Oh, I don't know if we have any of that in stock. Look, there's no point in getting uptight. You'll just have to be patient. I mean, it's not as if you can just run off and somehow accelerate time.
Oh yeah? Well, I'm a wizard. A bona fide, pointy-headed, skirt-wearing magic tosser. Although perhaps I should rephrase that.
He's a tosser.
I can do anything I like. I'll accelerate time anywhere I want to, anywhen, anyhow. I'm going to accelerate time for those little six-legged idiots in there. Let them develop a civilization, new philosophies, and entire galaxies of new perceptions. And then I'm going to jump up and down on the lot of them. Hey, I'm really getting the hang of this science business, aren't I?
I have a pyramid.
Right, Hex, I want you to tell me the answer to the question, why?
There. Now that wasn't so bad. You see what just a little bit of patience can...
Shut up and tell me the damn answer!
One time I attended an worker stream. Alright.
Now let me
And
see.
what is the rest of the story?
Oh. It says...
Because.
Is that all? Because?
Well, it also says... Blip, blip, blip. Out of cheese error. Blip, blip, blip. Cannot find drive Z. Blip, blip, blip. Unrecoverable application error.
Wait, is
blip,
that
blip,
all you've got?
blip.
It's one time I
Please
attended in a
reboot
worker stream.
universe. Blip, blip, blip. Year of the
The
sloth.
sloth.
Blip,
Sloth?
blip, blip.
Oh, blip.
It's a sloth. Right. We've got our jingle then. Guys, we're doing it. You're telling me there was no punchline. I sat here waiting. No, it's not enough. Oh, wait a minute, I've got to give it to Angus.
He has no need of material.
I like the fact they actually have an Angus.
Angus! Angus, don't put those in there! You know they
No,
breed
these
like
are
flies! Oh, they are
are
flies! Well, in which case, bring the popcorn and we'll watch them.
Popcorn.
Ooh!
Popcorn.
Hello? Hello? Look, am I coming to bedtime?
No, lad, no! We're just settling down to a nice evening by the fire.
I brought the answer, you know, to why.
Well done, lad, well done!
It's probably not what you expected.
Out with it!
It's a bit short.
Speak up, lad, speak up!
Well, all right.
Because.
It's not really very conclusive.
Just say the word.
It just says
Because.
because. Then it says
Blip,
blip 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 out of cheese error.
Blip,
Blip
blip,
blip
blip.
blip cannot find drive Z.
Blip,
Blip
blip,
blip blip unrecoverable application error. Blip 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 please reboot universe. Blip 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 year of the sloth. Blip blip blip.
Angus! Angus, you were right! You were right!
Wow,
you were
Akbar.
right! Angus, stop doing that right now and listen to me!
Wow.
Normally I'd hang around long enough to check the goods. But in this case, a frenzied departure might be more advisable.
I want to spend more time with Angus. That also still came out of his loincloth. Meaning, basically, he gave it out of his penis area. Or his butt area. Take your pick. It's either penis paper or butt paper. It was such a traumatic experience. Kaiser has spoken. Here you go, have a jingle. Lol penis.
All
Hey
right, we've
Papa,
got
how's
it.
it going?
Here it is, one prime jingle just for you.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. Can you get me another one?
What?
Only kidding.
That's it. I think we have everything.
We have a babe.
The jingle, the band, the girl, the novelties. Not to mention the lead actor's out of makeup
Sent the
and
word
ready to
penis
go.
and came rushing.
Right then. So it's lights, camera, angstrom.
Don't you mean action?
Oh. Well, I suppose so, if you think that's easier. Come on, we got some filming to do.
I'm ready for my close-up now, Mr. Dibbler.
All right. Lights.
Camera.
Camera. Achtung. Acting. Actinium, I'll get on with it. Cue death.
Now is the winter of our discontent, made all the more drizzly by the lack of death. Ooh, to be or not to be? That is the question. Whether to be extremely cool, reach the heights of fashion, and snuff it, or to keep drawing breath and lose all fashion sense forevermore.
Old fashioned.
So, what do you think?
I'm trying not to.
Ready? Cue piano.
Piano?
Roll 'em.
Boo!
Makeup? Now is the winter of our discontent, made all the more drizzly by the lack of death. Ooh, to be or not to be, that's the question. Whether to be extremely cool, reach the heights of fashion and snuff it, or to keep drawing breath and lose all fashion sense forevermore.
Ready for the porcelain scene?
Porcelain?
Look, can we just discuss this script for a moment?
Roll 'em.
This is why we need the sheep.
Makeup?
I have a feeling this is what the sheep is for.
Now is the winter of our tent, the discontent.
This is the winter of our
made
tent.
all the more drizzly by the lack of death. Oh, to be or not to be. That is the answer. Whether to be extremely cold, reaching the heights of fashion and sniffing.
And sniffing?
Or to keep drawing breath and lose all fashion sense forevermore.
Okay, everyone. The being smashed by a safe scene. And roll 'em.
Now look here.
Poor death.
Makeup.
Now, Mr. Dibbler, now?
What? What's he talking about?
Nothing, love, nothing. Now look, I've told you before, it'll be far too messy.
Help!
I want to see my agent.
All right, now, Death, stand by for Julian's extra special scene. And cue.
Not sure he's happy about this.
Here, wait a minute. What's all this about a special scene?
Read your script, love. Here, Julian, explain how this next bit goes, will you?
It goes whoosh!
Bang!
Bam! Stuff flying everywhere!
Vroom!
Did you not tell our boy that there were special scenes involved?
I'm not doing
Kabloomy!
Oh, all right. I'll go and find a stunt double. Honestly, you get some people in front of a camera and they think they're the Queen of the May. A skeleton stunt double indeed.
It's a good thing I know where one is. I have a manager at work called Julian. Pretty sure he'd be like that as well. I would blow everything up. Alright. Ugh.
I was just wondering whether a career in the clickies might be just exactly what you're looking for.
Ba 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 ba. It's like Shaun the Sheep.
Oh,
Just not
I
as
see.
cute.
The local Actors League won't let you in until you have proof that your family is from overseas. Bloody cheek of some people. I'll tell you what. I'll have a look around and see what I can find to help prove your case for sheep in the arts. I'll get some evidence that proves that your ancestors came from distant climes.
That's the picture that I took in a cave.
Sorry, can't stay and chat all day. Must be off. Here you are. Some evidence that your ancestors came from the land of 4X.
4X.
Now you can be a stunt sheep.
This isn't it, by the way. That we
No, don't thank
there's
me.
another act to go after this. I thought this wouldn't take me 2 hours to do. I feel like I'm forever saying that.
Death!
Now
The
is
Discworld games are
winter
just longer
of
than I
our
keep thinking they are.
made all the more drizzly by the lack of death. Ooh, to be or not to be? That is the question. Whether to be extremely cool, reach the heights of fashion and snuff it, or to keep drawing breath and lose all fashion sense forevermore.
Oh, look at the black sheep.
Fine, everyone. Cut and paint.
Ah. This is more of a lark. Watching someone else work for a change.
That was beautiful, baby. Just beautiful.
Wait a minute. Feathers? It was just feathers?
What? Didn't you read the script? It's Julian's special scene.
Oh, showbiz. Fame and fortune, I hear you calling.
A stretch wagon. A stretch donkey cart.
Well, welcome to our audience and welcome to Death, the latest star to rise and shine in the land of Holywood. Death, how do you feel about your up-and-coming premiere?
I don't feel. I am dead.
What he means is that he's confident that the product will speak for itself. That we've got something really astounding, really new, really...
What?
Look, just try to appear less skeletal or something, will you?
Yes, well, perhaps you might explain to us just why you feel death is the sex symbol for today's world.
Wow, death is definitely the
We've
sex
always known that the height of
symbol.
style is pure, elegant restraint. And of course, when it comes to wearing black, he's always been the trendsetter.
Fabulous, fantastic. Well, that's it from outside the Odeon here tonight. This is Trish Looks Good inviting one and all to join me here tonight and get reaped. Excuse me, do they have those chocolate-coated ice creams here? The one with the little bits of nuts on
Librarian
them?
scratching his ass. Just so you
They
know.
only had insect larva flavor.
Insect larva?
Some new invention imported from 4X, apparently.
Grubs.
When's this clicky starting, then?
Yes, hurry up. Some of us have to get back to bed before dawn.
That's death. Say farewell to all your bills. Rip up all your wills. And pop your final pills. Amen.
That's death.
Rubbish!
I say, this is appalling.
Ugh. I haven't seen anything this awful since I saw the Dean in the showers.
Who'd have thought, when he was flying around, I thought the movie was going to turn out to be great. That's death.
It's a tete-a-tete with fate. If you're not feeling great, then it's the best way to lose weight. Mate. That's death.
Well, that
Boo!
mustard.
No, I thought it was awful.
It booed me.
Well, in its awfulness, it had a certain beauty. Just as, in beauty, we sometimes see awfulness pressing through from underneath. I mean, sure. We all look at it and say, well, this presentation eats its own young. But I mean, is this a fair assessment? Can we really judge an art piece as being awful simply because it exhibits no attractive or interesting aspects at all? Actually, I felt that in many aspects, the film proved to be a very apt, very direct communication.
Oh? Of what?
Well, a communication of just how untalented some clicky makers can be.
Well, this looks like it fits. There's got to be a better use for the film. Now I think I'm onto something here. What of us splicing a few shots of the Elven Queen? Sort of subliminal, you might say. That should make them sit up and take notice.
Who's talking doesn't matter, you're wrong. I think it was the guy on the far left that was talking gibberish. You want to get 4 guys. If you do, you should play with me and Sean. We're trying to get Gracie to play with us.
That's death. Say farewell to all your bills. Rip up all your wills. And pop your final pills. Amen. That's death. It's a tete-a-tete with fate. If you're not feeling
Oh my, I do say I'm marvelous.
Oh, beautiful. Simply beautiful.
I wish my
Boobs.
smell could have seen that.
Papa came for penis, you came for boobs.
That was better than being alive ever was. Now, that's what I call real charisma. He'll go far, he will, a real
Boobs.
star.
There's Binky, Death's horse.
Oh, shut up.
And boobs.
It seemed like a good idea at the time. How was I to know the spectre of death was going to become a pop icon? Now he said he doesn't want his old day job back. Now he's a style setter. Now millions of girls are cramming themselves into undersized, tight, black lace costumes with lots of black lace, all dyeing their hair black, wearing black lace and black nail polish and deep plum lipstick and black lace and being pale and very, very interesting. God, I hate wearing this dress. What do you mean it's all my fault? Well, of course I saw the game's opening credits. I was there. Well, no, I don't think that's a good idea at all. No, it's just not my cup of tea. You mean I have to become death? Well, I suppose it'll help me make new friends.
And there we have it. We become death. There's a whole section where we gotta do death things.
Act 3. The Grim Rincewind.
But yeah, as that is now 2 hours, that is as far as we're going.